We now have the privilege of introducing our speaker today. Reverend Philip DeLong, Doctor of Ministry, is an ordained minister, spiritual counselor, healer, and teacher with the International Association of Metaphysics. He received his doctorate of ministry through the Lively Stones World Healing Fellowship. He's a member, certified medium, healer, and teacher here at Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp, and he's also a member of the Temple Hights Spiritual Camp in Northport, Maine. Please welcome the wonderful Reverend Dr. Phil DeLong.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, Cynthia. Hello, Cassadaga. Hello. All right. Happy solstice. And may the sun shine upon you. Today, we celebrate Father's Day. For many years, this day was filled with cards, ties, shirts, calls, and visits. Since losing my dad 30 years ago, it has taken on a deeper significance. And my father died in 1996, so it almost feels like yesterday. My dad was a university history professor and passed away due to an unexpected heart attack. We remembered those things that gave us joy from him at the funeral. And it was a funeral. There weren't any celebrations of life at that time. And we supported our mother, his pal, through 40 years of marriage. I was fortunate to grow up with a dad who had the privilege and commitment to take the time to laugh, listen, teach, celebrate, encourage, and explore. Here are just a few of the things, or a few of the lessons that we walked away with after sharing the world with my dad. So lesson number 1, take the time to learn how to do things. I was my dad's little apprentice at the workbench, and he taught righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Most of his tools were manual back in those days, including the push mowers we had to use. So, but the point is that don't ever forget to teach the little things to your people in your family. But we also have to look out and know when to call in the experts for the bigger things, including our guides. Learning things teaches us to remember, even our spiritual instincts. Lesson number 2, winning doesn't mean much if you ain't having fun. All right? So, from T-ball to Little League, track and field, most important was having fun first. But I tell you, going out and running 10 miles for practice wasn't that much fun, but, we get over it. So, Dad reminded us of the one key thing when it comes to competition. It never means much to win if you're not having that fun. So when we look at ourselves spiritually, having fun and following our passions are the spiritual principles that should be ingrained in us. All right, it is one of our principles. We find our own happiness or unhappiness, but who wants to find unhappiness? Okay. Number 3 lesson. The underdog always deserves a hand. If you are in the fortunate position to lend one, you better step up. Giving that kid whose family was late after practice a ride home, or making sure that the church carnival always sent the biggest toy or the biggest cake to the kid who could use something positive. And being the person to go the extra mile for the family in our community. For example, during the holidays or on weekends, he would grill extra hot dogs just for the kids down the street to come by. And that was part of his legacy. He demonstrated time and time again how important it is to show up for kids who really need it the most. And this is all about the golden rule. Do unto others as they shall do unto you. And take a minute and think about the word they. They could be infinite intelligence, your guides, or even strangers in the future who reciprocate your kindness. So this is karma in action. Lesson number 4. When there is data available, let it help you understand the story. When we drove back and forth in Michigan to see family and friends or on vacation, we always signaled a honk if you're happy sign, even with truckers, all right? So we just didn't make people laugh and get some honks along Interstate 75, but we also collected data and had answers. And he would ask us, what percentage of the honks were from different license plates from different states? What the color of the cars were, and all that things related to a driving trip. No, it made things more interesting instead of, are we there yet? So, but Mom even had some little bingo cards with these sliding things that was related to the driving data. So Dad was always teaching us that data makes your story better and teaches you how to improve. We always strive to improve. And that is why being aware and being attuned to your spirit, your spiritual self, is so important. Lesson number 5. Understand that we are learning all the time, and it serves us well if we never stop. A teacher's motto indeed. However, mistakes happen. I remember when I first used to shave, and the shaving cream was actually lathered with a little brush, and we used, believe it or not, a one-blade straight razor. And here we go. All right, so after that, I looked like Frankenstein. So next Christmas, surprisingly, I got an electric razor. Okay, whether we are learning to use new technologies, creating a new recipe, learning new car features, and more, he always messed up, right? But he learned to move on. These are the lessons we learn and gain experience from. Lesson number 6, generalize lessons to new experiences. As we moved into a new house with a bigger yard and more lawn, Dad made sure that I had a new responsibility of mowing with the self-propelled mower. One day, the lawnmower propelled itself over a lilac bush, right? And it reduced it to a pulp. So, and my mom was furious. So, but pruning is exactly what that lilac bush needed. And then it grew so many shoots out of that we transplanted them, me and my dad, on the back property line, and it made a whole hedge. So, all right. So I really don't think it was planned out that way. But Dad had a way of making sure that lessons could always be generalized to make us better at something else, like using alchemy to turn a lemon into lemonade. Live life to the fullest and never look back. Lesson number 7. Welcome others into your world. In high school and college, our parents' home was a gathering place. Both of our parents made everyone feel welcome. Dad had the gift of making pancakes when we all stumbled down the stairs in the morning, and there were many laughs around the breakfast table over the years. There were many people who remembered Dad's pancakes. But most importantly, they remember our house being where they were always welcome. Spiritualist philosophy inherently welcomes all religious backgrounds, rejecting dogmatic restrictions in favor of universal wisdom. We need to welcome everyone and other organizations into our community beyond the camp's boundaries, focusing on love versus duality. Lesson number 8. Share your passion with your kids. All right? My dad loved music. Mostly the two kinds of music, country and western. But I remember rolling down the highway with Convoy playing on the radio. But he didn't mind I Can't Drive 55 by Sammy Hagar during the fuel crisis back in the 70s and 80s. So, but he also liked fishing. And we always connected on the lake in those moments of serenity. I still fish left-handed because that was my dad's way. Those moments aren't the things we have forgotten. They are the things we're recreating with our kids. So we need to live our passion and share our gifts. Lesson number 9. Not everyone has a dad, but that doesn't mean they don't deserve to have a guy in their life who shows up. I remember my dad being a dad to many of his students at the university, and he even sponsored many organizations and fraternal orders. Now, the university, the town that I grew up in, we had 2 black families in our whole community. They were university professors. And he was actually a sponsor for one of the black fraternities at the college. So it gave us a little diverse background growing up. And I really, appreciate that fact. We even had a French foreign exchange student living with us. So I remember him helping friends get jobs, make decisions about grad school, or just get help with a big cross-state move. I remember him writing a lot, mentoring a lot, and serving others a lot. He just wasn't a dad to us. He was a role model and showed up and supported everyone brave enough to chase a dream. Lead by example. Your actions speak louder than your words. Lesson number 10. Be the person who goes all in. I remember Dad encouraging me through graduate school and telling me to just get the work done and get out and do what I love to do. I remember him holding our daughters on his 6-foot frame and reading to them. I remember his accolades and accomplishments. I remember him being thankful for the opportunities he had and the successes he experienced. We must express our gratitude of our lives and what we have and share. Lesson number 11. Keep in touch. As we get older, hearing about our trials and our life joys was important to my dad and my mom. Time and distance paused a little things back in those days, but with today's technology, we're only a video call away. So it is important to stay in touch. Dad was also a proponent of no pissing wars, and that we should all get along with our siblings. I remember being sat down at the kitchen table by my parents to discuss my distancing myself from one of my siblings. I was trying to give them a chance, or give them the space to grow through their issues, and it was misconstrued as avoidance. So I listened to what my parents had to say about the situation, and the art of redirect with my sibling smoothed everything. Fortunately, all things must pass, and time heals all wounds if you allow it. I remember Dad used to say, life is too short to have grudges and regrets. And spiritually, we shouldn't either. So that's just a snapshot of some of the lessons he taught us over the years. But overall, he taught me the importance of making the time, showing the effort, seeing others for who they are and who they can be, and prioritizing family. And let's not forget about dad jokes. All right? We didn't call them dad jokes back then. We just called them boomerangs that flew over your head and returned a minute later with the punchline to hit you straight between the eyes. All right? So, you know what I like about camping? It's intense. Why couldn't the bicycle stand up? Because it was too tired. Okay, and then here's one for Cassadaga. Where did George Colby meet his Indian guide Seneca? In a seance, they have the same letters. Okay. Okay. So that's how I remember my dad, then and in spirit. On Father's Day, I hope all those who are lucky to call themselves a dad take some time to think about the moments, big and small, that are making a difference in raising good people who will turn out to be our next neighbors, fathers, and friends. So, thank you for listening.